Hey, Beak Squad. I'm David Burns. Good to be with you. Thanks for joining me for my live stream tonight. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a great week already, great day. Good to be along with you during the live stream. All of us as beekeepers love to get together as a community known as Beak Squad and just talk about bees, hang out together for 59 minutes of fun. I promise not to keep you more than 59 minutes. Well, I could break that promise, but I'll try my best. So thanks for giving us your time tonight. And we appreciate Sherry and Robbie and Jessica for working all the details of the live stream, keeping it going behind the scenes. Thank you guys so much. We are going to have to still feature them on the live stream. So some of you probably have never seen them before. And they're always hard at work helping you with your comments, getting everything posted so that all your questions can be answered, your super stickers show up, all that good stuff like that. And by the way, thank you for all the donations that you make during the live stream. We appreciate that so much to help pay the bills. And how's beekeeping going for you guys? Is it going okay? I hope it is. And it got really cold here last night. It got down almost to the single digits. I think it got down to 10 degrees Fahrenheit. That's pretty cold. That will wipe out any struggling colonies that are low populated and sick from viruses. Those single digit temperatures pretty much do away, just end the lives of any struggling bees. I was like, oh no, some of you are like, oh no, I think I have a hive like that. I got my little camera out, my not really an infrared camera, but I can't think of the right name for it. FLIR maybe, and I walked around and looked at some hives and they were pretty high up. The clusters were pretty high up in the boxes already. I don't know if you've ever experienced one of those cameras, but we had it on the live stream a while back. You plug it into your iPhone or your Android and open a little app up. And I did a whole live stream and I gave one away on my live stream. I think the company is called Top Don, D-O-N. And I was using it today, looking at hives and all. It really is so good. You can point it up at the sky and if there's no clouds, it's like 70 below zero Fahrenheit. It's so accurate. I take it around the house and look for air leaks. I love that little camera. And I like that it's affordable and it plugs into your phone. You don't have to buy a $500-700 handheld camera to see those thermal images. So that's fun. But I know, I put my ear up against some hives today, listened to them. Boy, they were tightly clustered. They didn't make a ton of noise. They were so huddled together. Insane how cold it was. The weather has not been horrible. It's just been bad, good, bad. I mean, it gets really cold and then it kind of warms up above freezing for a few days. And so, yeah, it's going to warm up, I think, this weekend, maybe Monday or Tuesday here, above freezing and even into the high 40s. So we're looking forward to that. So don't be nervous. Just calm down and enjoy your bees and have fun knowing that you learned a lot all summer long. And now it's just keep our fingers crossed. A lot of you have been asking me about what you can do with your bees right now. And unless you live in a very warm climate, there's nothing you can do. There really isn't. I mean, you can feed them. I've given a lot of tips on what you can do. But as far as going in there and manipulating the hive, the colony, you can't really do anything for the colony to help them out right now. I mean, that's what we did all year long. That's what we did all bee season. We kept our mite levels down and we kept feeding them and we made sure they had a good floral sources out there. We made sure they were shaded when it was too hot. We made sure that we didn't take too much honey off. We made sure we treated for mites. We did all that thing. We took care of the queen, made sure she was laying good. They had good brood pattern. All of that stuff has to go on during the bee season because when we enter the seasons of fall and winter, that's when we just keep our fingers crossed and hope for the best. So that's great. I see all you guys making great comments and I think the chat is great. All of you I feel like a big family, big squad family. And someone made a comment that it'd be fun to get all of us together on a big Zoom meeting so that we can see each other's faces, we can talk. The problem is that sometimes we have 400, 500, 600 people, and on a Zoom meeting, that would be tough. I've been on Zoom meetings. Have you been on some, that may have 40 or 50 people on there? It is really chaotic. And some people, unless you have a good moderator that can keep everybody's mics off and all that, and because if one person makes a noise, then they show up. So it might be hard to manage a Zoom meeting, but I love the idea. Let me kick it around a little bit because it'd be fun to see so many of you. But I don't know if you can have 500 or 600 people on Zoom meeting. Maybe you can. I don't know. But that's something to think about. What I want to talk to you guys tonight about, and that's something I'm extremely excited about. Get ready because I want to ask you a few questions. Okay, you're going to help me out here. But I want to ask you your thoughts. I want you to leave them in the comment section here in the chat. But I made a video, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday, that about the new Apiary Federation inspectors. Thanks, Brian, for your donations. I see your donations coming in. I appreciate that. Oh, the significance of 59 minutes is, I think time is precious. I think everyone's time is precious. And I just don't want to keep anybody here too long because you've got a lot of things going on in your life, and I do too, and we all know that. So 59 minutes is just kind of a funny thing that basically says, let's spend an hour together. So the American Federation of Inspectors issued a new report, as you can see right here, and it gives the preliminary results for the 2023-2024 U.S. Beekeeping Survey Colony Loss and Management. And I don't know if you've thought about that or if you've had a chance to read through it, but it is very interesting. And I made a whole video about it. I can't help but you got to watch the video if you didn't see it yesterday, because I was excited yesterday. I was on cloud 9, and it seems weird to get on a cloud 9 over a loss report because it's not that good actually. But I got on cloud 9 because of one very noticeable thing when I read through the report, and you'll have to watch my video from yesterday, not now, but after the live stream. But I gave a little report on my understanding of their report, and that is that I think for the first time ever, beekeepers, backyard beekeepers, those are hobbyists that we know it's hobbyists, but they're calling them backyard beekeepers, had fewer losses than they've ever had before. And backyard beekeepers had fewer losses than commercial beekeepers did. Commercial, on average, over the last 13 years, I think, over the last 13 years, the increase of losses among commercial beekeepers is higher, but the losses last year among backyard beekeepers is lower than it's ever been. And that's amazing. I was so excited, and I'm still excited. That is so, because I've had to put up with, people saying, well, the reason why we have so many losses is because all the new people getting into beekeeping don't know what they're doing. They're making mistakes. Their hives are dying. Have you not heard that? I have heard that, that they say that's why the numbers are up. But if you stop and think about it, the report shows that commercial beekeepers that, know what they're doing, they've been doing it for most of them a very long time, even generations, have more losses than the backyard beekeepers. So no longer can we blame the losses, the percentage of losses, on backyard beekeepers. In fact, we need to give an applause to backyard beekeepers because you're doing a better job than you've ever done before. And I thought that is so excited. I'm so excited about that. So let's talk about this. I want you to ask you a few questions. Let's start off. You guys tell me, why do you think backyard beekeepers are doing a better job now? What is it? Go ahead, leave comments. What do you think the reason is that backyard beekeepers are doing a better job, having better, not just winter survival? This report covered the whole year. It covered summer, spring, fall, everything. And it isolated them down into different seasons. What do you think? Why are backyard beekeepers doing a better job? Leave some comments, post them up. I'm ready to see what you guys' thoughts are. Leave some comments in the chat. Hey, Tom, how are you? Tom says, great. Thanks, Tom, for your donation. Great news. Hobby bee survival is up. Keep up the good work. David, I think it's because of you. Thanks for all you've done for us. Well, thank you. Very humbling. I do try to help beekeepers. Ratio of time to hive. Not sure how that equates from commercial to backyard beekeepers. Seem like it would be different. I would think okay. Most beekeepers, backyard beekeepers are open-minded. That's a good point. Yeah. If you get caught up in one thing as a commercial guy, it could skew the numbers. But yeah, good point on that. Backyard beekeepers may be open-minded and willing to try different things. Maybe it's easier to take care of smaller number of hives. Good point. I'm sure it is. It is for me. Yeah, that's right. What else? Why are we seeing hobby beekeepers, backyard beekeepers, not having as many losses as they normally do, even less losses than what we see in commercial beekeepers? What do you think it is? What's your thoughts? They're getting better educated. Matthew, I totally agree with you on that one. Absolutely. Yep, they are getting better educated. I think we spend more time on each hive, mostly because we're always worried about them. That very well could be. Yep. Very well could be. I know I love thinking about what my bees are doing and checking hives and watching them. More time to devote to each hive when there are less to manage. That's true. Yep. Big beekeepers, big commercial beekeepers, and this isn't really about commercial beekeepers. It's about us as smaller beekeepers. But commercial beekeepers do oftentimes have a larger staff. They have larger field work, a larger number of people that do the work for them too. Not all of them, but a lot of them do. Backyard beekeepers aren't moving bees for pollination. Good point. Yep. It's hard on bees, isn't it, to move bees? Yep. It's kind of scary on the road with bees. I've done that before. Ian, usually fewer hives to look after. Yeah, it's a dominant factor there you guys are bringing up. More information, education available before we start. Yeah, I think that's true. There is a lot more educational benefits now to beginner people that are beginning beekeeping than there ever has been. Boy, that is a good point. It's everywhere. Learning more about bee biology. I love that because makes a huge difference, doesn't it? The more you learn about bee biology, the more you can have better management of your honeybees. We got some giveaways coming up in just a little bit too, so stay tuned for the giveaways. Dana says we get into our hives more often and can keep ahead of problems. I'm not sure if that's true when compared to commercial beekeepers, but that is a factor that we do like to get into our hives and really look after them and do stay ahead of problems, don't we? Yep. But commercial guys do that too because that's their livelihood. They make a living. They can't afford to lose a hive. More affordable good equipment is showing up in the market. There is a lot more affordable. I don't know if it's affordable. Oh my gosh, it's so expensive. But good equipment, more options for equipment. It gives us more tools for our toolboxes, doesn't it? That's a good point. Yeah, absolutely. I think it is more affordable. I mean, you can, if you don't care where it comes from, right? You can buy really cheap equipment. If you need a queen excluder, you can pay $2, get a plastic queen excluder. You can pay like $3 and get a J-hook hive tool. No kidding. I've seen them for $3. Wow. Personally going in as prepared as I can and lining up a mentor. Hey, Gary, knowledge equals success. That is so true. In every walk of life, knowledge equals more success. I like that point. Yeah. Absolutely. Those are good points. We individualize our approaches and care for each hive versus a broad plan to apply to a larger number of hives. That is an excellent observation. That is excellent. I see what you're saying there. I agree. So in other words, if you have to treat, let's say 700 colonies, or if you have to do something, take honey off 700 colonies as a commercial beekeeper, it's a lot different than if you have 10 hives, because with 10 hives, you can take an individual approach and say, well, that one doesn't need treated, or I got to leave that honey on that one. That could be a big factor too. Those are good points. You guys are sharp. I knew you guys would really come up with something. We cowboy up. Oh, I'm wearing my cowboy up shirt. Let me see if I can show it to you. This is embarrassing. Look at that shirt. Cowboy up. Can't be a coward in beekeeping. Look at that. I love that. We do need to cowboy up. By the way, that shirt's available as our part of our merch. There's the banner going by at the bottom. Cowboy Up Designs and Candy is great putting that together. But you can check out the website going by and get a Cowboy Up shirt. And that's just my way of saying, yeah, we need to cowboy up, kind of brave up, toughen up, get things done. Yeah, that's funny. Cowboying up and does make a big difference. All right. Well, about this report, I wanted to really congratulate all of you guys that are starting beekeeping, or you just started, you've been beekeeping less than 5 years. Another interesting thing that I loved about the report was that they did not use the word hobby. I love that because I've told you guys that I'm not crazy about the word hobby, a hobby beekeeper, because hobby means a leisurely thing that you do in your spare time for fun. And so beekeeping really isn't that, because you can't just work bees in your leisure. You can't just go out there for fun. You have to go out there sometimes when it's not fun and when you have other things you got to do, but now it's time to take care of your bees. So they use the word backyard beekeeper. I love that. Sherry and I wrote a book. I can't believe I don't have a copy of it. Here's one. Hang on. So we wrote a book about backyard beekeeping, and that's a good title instead of a hobby beekeeper, because backyard beekeeper is someone who is keeping bees in their backyard, a smaller scale. And they had numbers in the report. 0 to 50 makes you, is that right? Yeah, I think so. 0 to 50 makes you a backyard beekeeper. That's a lot of hives to have in your backyard. 50 hives. Wow. But that makes you a backyard beekeeper. So I love that they use that terminology. I also thought it was interesting in the report that they did look at the 3 different groups of beekeepers to see which group was having less or more success. They broke it down into the backyard beekeeper, sideliner beekeeper, and then, of course, the commercial beekeeper. So let's take a moment for another question. Are you ready? Okay, so their report, because these numbers are all over the place, their report said that 0 to 50, you are a backyard beekeeper, and then around 50 to 100, I think. Yeah, 50 to 100, you're a sideliner. And then over 100, that doesn't sound right. Oh, okay, here we go. I'm totally confused now. I think it was, anyway, I think 500 or more is a commercial. Is that right? All right. Well, anyway, I want you guys to tell me, what are your numbers? Let us know. You don't have to tell me how many hives you have, but are you a backyard beekeeper? Are you a sideliner? Or are you a commercial beekeeper? Yeah. So let us know in the comment section, in the chat. You don't have to put how many hives you have, but are you a backyard beekeeper? Are you a sideliner? And I think a sideliner has more than 50 hives. Or are you a commercial beekeeper and you have a whole bunch, hundreds of hives? Oh, there you go. Wow. A lot of comments. Yeah. All right. Backyard beekeeper. BB means backyard beekeeper. Yeah. I see a lot of backyard beekeepers. Yeah. Yep, I'm looking at that. Haven't seen a sideliner yet. Oh, here's a backyard wannabe. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that's true. A lot of people, someone said, boy, they're going by so fast, I missed it. Oh, shoot, I lost it. It was funny. Oh, there it is. I'm a lazy backyard beekeeper. Patrick, you're not. Hey, Patrick, good to see you. Yeah. Oh, yeah. A lot of backyard Anybody have sideliner? You got 50 hives or more? Not many sideliners. Yeah, sideliner. Here we go. 51 to, you're telling me the numbers. 51 to 501 is a sideliner. Yeah, I thought it was, but because I thought there's 500. That's, commercial beekeepers have a lot more. Tom is a sideliner. Now, sideliner is a funny term because that sounds like, you have this other occupation that you're making your living on. And on the side, you're taking care of up to 500 colonies on the side. Oh my gosh. Whoa. I don't know. If I was taking care of 500 colonies, especially on my own, and I was holding down a full-time job doing something else, boy, I'd have to work remote from home out in the bee yard for my other job. 500 colonies, and you can still be a sideliner. That's scary. Sideliner by numbers, but not wanting to make it a business. Yeah, that's right. Sideliners, you're probably making a little bit more money, decent money from your honey sales or something, maybe raising queens. But yeah, it's not really a full-time business, is it? You're just kind of getting a lot more sideline income. But man, if you've got a full-time job and you're a sideliner, you're hustling. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, you're hustling. You're really working hard, because before I went totally into beekeeping, I had another occupation, and then that's why I no longer do the other thing, is because the bees took over and they're demanding. Beehives are one hive can be demanding. A lot of hives can be really demanding. That's really great. Well, that's good to hear that. I'd like to get an idea of how you guys are doing. One of the things I'll say, and then we're going to have some questions, is that be careful. I would challenge you to really think through carefully before you do jump to the next step of beekeeping, whether you're going from a backyard beekeeper to a sideliner to a commercial. So think that through really carefully. To do it right, that's my opinion, but to do it correctly, I think anytime you start doing anything remotely close to a business, like if you're selling honey, and that can be a backyard beekeeper, or if you're a sideliner and you're selling queens and you're selling nukes and packages and you're having big bee days on your property, or you're a commercial guy, whenever you jump into those things where you start making money and you're working with a public, I think it's highly important that you go through the proper channels of such things as incorporating as a business, if it's legally required. I think it's important to make sure you have workman comp. Even if we have to have workman comp here because, we have people that work for us. But in addition, and I talked to my insurance agent and everything about this, but even if somebody comes on your property and volunteers to help you, and something happens to them and you don't have workman comp from a volunteer, you can still be in trouble. So make sure you follow all those business things that you have to do: business insurance, workman comp, and then you have to charge sales tax on things that you sell for your business. Then you have to have employment taxes, and there's so many things. It's bee business is no difference. Hey, here in the state of Illinois, when we sell bees, we have to charge sales tax on livestock. Yeah. We actually have to charge sales tax if you buy bees in Illinois. I spoke in Iowa a month ago, and they're trying to change that. They're trying to lobby to get it where you don't have to pay sales tax on livestock, because in some states, when you buy horses and pigs and cows and all, you don't pay sales tax when you purchase livestock. I think in Illinois, you still have to pay livestock taxes. So they say anything that's a tangible, I think they use this analogy that if you can touch it or feel it, pick it up, or, whatever, you have to pay taxes on it. That's Illinois for you. But yeah, so you got to think through all of those before you jump into bee business. Good point. Okay, guys, let's jump into some questions. What's on your minds tonight? Let's see how good of a job I can do at answering and helping you guys out. That's my passion, by the way. Love you guys. Appreciate you so much for being here. And we'll take a few questions, and then we'll get into some giveaways tonight. Hey, Larry, how are you doing? My bees had some white spots on them, some of the wings and some of the other parts. Any idea what it is? If you're feeding your bees fondant or candy boards, it could be that some of the harder candy might be getting on them. The bees, I've noticed, sometimes will kind of break up that candy off of those candy boards or the fondant, and they'll sprinkle it down. And I don't know if it's deliberate or they're just clumsy, but they'll sprinkle it down onto the cluster. But you must be you must live in a warm spot, Larry, to be opening hives and looking at them. But that could be what it is. If you're really warm, it could be pollen if your bees are foraging. It's just really hard to tell. bees do have a lot of different things that they get on them when they're foraging. Oh, well, David, my first hive full of bees died due to mites. I will start with 4 new nukes in the spring. I'm interested in buckfast bees. What's your thoughts and understanding of these bees? I've always liked buckfast bees. I have, when I was really heavily into queen rearing, and I was selling, 50 to 100 queens a week, and I kept bringing a lot of different genetics into my bee yard, into the mix, and buckfast was one of them. I do that. I think the buckfast has an outstanding history, and as far as I know, I don't know where they stand right now, because it's been a while, but I know that I remember a beekeeper went into Canada and got some buckfast bee genetics and brought them back to Illinois. I don't know if he did that legally. Let's hope he did. I don't know if he was. I'm sure he did it legally. I think I asked him. But anyway, he brought some buckfast back to Illinois, but that was years ago. You have to look at those things. But there are people that sell buckfast bees, and they are a very fascinating bee, and how they got started. Yeah. Okay, John, New York, upstate. You guys got a lot of snow up there, I think. Received your winter be kind boards, and they suggest freezing them. Should they be kept frozen until use? They don't have to be frozen. I'm glad you got them, John, but they just need to be kept cool. They're designed so that when they get warm, they start getting a little bit liquidy, so the bees can slurp it all up. And so you don't have to freeze them. Just don't put them on their sides, and keep them flat, candy up, in a cool place, and they'll be ready to put on when you're ready. Yep. All right. Hey, David, thanks for all you do for us, especially first-time beekeepers such as myself. Is it common to have a couple of dozen dead bees out in front of the hive now? First winter I'm going through. Oh, absolutely. That seems like a very low number. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I've heard from old timers that I used to hang out with and respect a lot. They would say that when you see dead bees out front of your hive, you got a good hive, because house bees are cleaning out the dead bees. When a colony dies from being cold, nobody shows up on the front out there. They just don't. They die and they fall on the bottom board. So it's not an unusual thing. A lot of summer bees are dying, and the house bees clean them out. I wouldn't be scared of that at all. I see that all the time. In fact, I use that. Oh, that's a good hive there. Look at the dead bees out front. See them better in the snow. Most beekeepers panic when the snow hits, because they see all those dead bees in the snow. Hey, Brian, how are you doing? Oh, you've already asked about the 59 minutes. Yeah, good to see Brian. Yep. Yeah. So I get a lot of questions about dead bees in the snow. Hey, Susie. We will be new beekeepers in the spring. Way to go, Susie. Deciding where to set up our hives. We have a vegetable garden. How far should they be apart? We may use yellow jacket traps near hive. May we? We may use. So here's the deal with that. A little disappointing here, but I'm just going to be honest with you. The bees will go to your vegetable garden, but unless it's gigantic and huge, your bees are going to go somewhere else, probably further away than your garden, because they like to go to a very sweet spot that's very large flower source. So that's one thing to think about too. Don't panic if you don't see your bees going to your particular flower bed or your gardens. They will, don't get me wrong, they will, especially young bees. Young bees on a foraging flight, for the first few days, they stay close to home. And so they'll be the ones. So it's really hard to get a hive and put it somewhere where it specifically is going to go to just your garden. It'll help. Don't get me wrong. It'll help. But that's how that works. Now, regarding yellow jacket traps, I'm not good at that. A lot of people have told me they do have a way to make yellow jacket traps that don't attract bees, but you'll have to do your own research on that. I don't want to misguide you. Hey, Mark, I found a lot of dead bees on the ground by one of my hives, treated in October with Formic Pro. Could this still be mite issue, central Wisconsin? Yeah, not all mites are killed, are they, when we treat with all of our treatments? You reduce the numbers, but you don't get rid of all the mites. And so they keep reproducing, multiplying. It still is an issue. It may be what we spoke about earlier, though. It may just be house cleaning. Your bees are doing fine, and that you're a little bit worried about them. There's Sunshine. I think Sunshine is the lady that I sat next to at my talk in Indianapolis. Hi, Sunshine and Chris. I love talking to them. They were so nice, so sweet. It was so good to be there at the Indianapolis talk. I loved it. They gave me and Sherry, so many nice gifts. Let me show you this one. They made this card for me because they know that I restore. It's a hobby. It is a hobby. I restore vintage typewriters. And look at this. They gave me a card. Everybody signed it. And it's a typewriter. When you open it, look at that. Isn't that crazy? Who made that? That is insane. I love. They had a banquet. That event was like probably my all-time top, I guess my top conference / club meeting that I've ever gone to. It was just very warm, and the people were so friendly. Hats off. It was really impressive. Yeah. And Kerry was one of the, I think he was the main kind of organizer of the event. He did a great job. Thanks for having me over there, guys. We are going to get packaged bees. What are your thoughts on using powdered sugar on them to reduce mites prior to adding them to the hive? I don't know. Our bees, in our packages, we use oxalic acid in the fields before we package them up to get those mite numbers way down. It wouldn't hurt anything to get more maybe to fall off. I wouldn't say it's essential. I wouldn't rely on it as a single way to treat for mites. But I always say you get a package. I would wait 2 or 3 weeks even before I began testing or worrying about mites, because a package, they're so new. They need to be able to get used to being a package in a hive. I'm good to hear that, though. I love packages. I really do. Raymond, how are you doing? Is it dangerous to have a beehive in the backyard with little dogs in the house? What happens when they step on a dead bee and get stung? Oh, we've had animals and dogs and all sorts of things here, chickens and everything like that, cats and everything around the bee yards and all. Dogs are really good about learning quickly to stay away from beehives. Cats, not so much. We had a black cat that loved to go in the front of a beehive and try to catch bees. And yeah, she got stung and she just took off running. But their little paws are pretty tough, but they could step on a bee. And I know it sounds like you love your dog, you love your pets. So you might want to think of something where, see how it goes, I guess. See if you need to separate them by fencing them off or something. Hey, Doug, how soon can you split in the spring? Lost one of the 2 hives due to robbing, so hoping to split as soon as possible next spring. You can split very early. I probably would get an award for the earliest splitting of hives in the spring and losing the most of those splits. So what I mean is I've done it too many times, too early, and those splits will get frozen out. Oh, I know it is so frustrating, but I'm biting at the bit like you are, right? I'm trying to think, oh my gosh. And sometimes it warms up in February and March, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to make a split. And then we get Alberta clippers, and it's cold the first 2 weeks in April and just annihilates my small splits. So I kind of recommend in Illinois here that you go by kind of a planting season. So here in Illinois, I like to make my splits. Listen, this is going to be great for all of you. Listen up. When do your bees swarm? That is the best time to make your splits. So it's not a matter of the calendar. Bees are the same no matter where you live. They do the same thing. Bee biology in Florida and what bees do in Florida are the same as what bees do way up in Wisconsin. I know we think, places where you live makes a difference. It doesn't make any difference. Bees are the same. They might do it a little bit different time, but your bees are going to swarm. My bees start swarming the 1st of May. So here in Illinois, I know to make my splits the 1st of May. As soon as I see the slight production of queen cells, swarm cells, that's when you can make a split. Absolutely. Let the bees tell you. Sedona, is it safe to use sulfur in yard near bees? I have no idea. It doesn't sound good. Anytime we use anything for bees or around bees, it needs to say it on the label. That's what the law requires. Like even GrubX does not say it's for small honey beetle. So it is not a legal treatment for small honey beetle. If you happen to be killing the grubs on the outside of the package in your yard and it also kills, small honey beetle pupae, then it does. But it's right now not a labeled treatment for small honey beetle. So follow the labels. Look at the label. See what it says about insects. Hey, Johnny, will a telescoping cover completely cover and close off the upper entrance of the Burns Winter Be Kind? I installed them this week and the openings look closed off. Is that correct? Okay, so good question, Johnny. I love it. Thank you. We designed that so that you could close it off because now this is back when everybody made the equipment the same. We designed the Winter Be Kind after that. I know there's a lot of different kind of tops and all that now, but the perfect built Langstroth dimension hives that everybody follows the same dimensions, there's slack in the telescoping top cover on all four. You can move it just a little bit. So if you put the Winter Be Kind on, you put a top on it. If you pull it back this way, and you could possibly cover some of that opening. But if you push it back where the gap is by the opening, it opens up the opening more. That's how it's supposed to work. But I know now not everybody makes the tops the same. You have different types of hive tops for sale that's made differently. I wish that we'd all follow the same ones. I don't like it that now everything is just chaos out there. No, but you can always move it a little bit. And if you can't, your top cover isn't providing any help to you, you can actually prop it up a little bit. Put something between your top cover and the Winter Be Kind to jack it up a little bit, but put a heavy brick on it or something. Yep. David, if your bees have viral mites, can they transmit to a dog or can they be on my shoes when I go in my house? Yeah, but the viral mites they're a problem for honeybees. They're not a problem for you. And I don't believe they're a problem for dogs either. Fleas and ticks and all for dogs. The varroa mite is a pest to honeybees. Hey, let's take a break from our questions now and let's have a giveaway. I think what we'll do first, now that we're approaching the Christmas season, we need to give away one of our ornaments that Craig Curtis made that's beautiful. And use the word #shiny. We gave a couple of these away. Yeah, there's a picture of what Curtis did there. Craig Curtis. I mean, look at that. It's the Van Gogh painting. And instead of a village and a church down in the valley, there's a church and there's a beekeeper. Isn't that beautiful? And so Candy designed these Christmas ornaments that you can hang on your tree. And I thought that was cool. So thanks for designing that. So that's how we're going to give away tonight. So #shiny, hang that on your tree. Have a good time with it. Sherry, are we giving away one of these or two of these? Oh, she said we can give away two. Yeah. Okay. Very good. So leave a comment if you've already won one last week. Let somebody else win. Don't put your name in the hat. No, but we like to give away things here on our live stream to help you guys out. This is kind of fun to hang on your tree. By the way, this is a great community of beekeepers. Every time I go speak somewhere, I met so many of you, and it's so fun to see you guys when I'm at these conferences and clubs. And thanks for coming up and introducing yourself. Always my pleasure. All right, let's go ahead and give one away, Robbie. Let's see what we got. #shiny. All right. Let's see who will be our winner today. All right, we're going to draw. There goes the names. All right, who is it going to be? Who's it going to be? Wow, it slowed down. Kelly. Kelly is the winner. I keep saying winter. Winner. Congratulations, Kelly. You need to email us within 24 hours. The email address is scrolling across, beaksquadwinner@gmail.com. Kelly, email us so we'll know where to send you your ornament. And while we have things already going, let's do it again. Let's give away a second one. So you don't have to put your name in the hat again. I think we can use your name again. So if you're hurrying and getting your name in there, take a last minute hashtag shiny, 1 N, 2 N's kick you out, lowercase. So we'll do it again and see who could win another ornament. All right, we're off to the races. Here we go. Oh, this is fun, isn't it? It's good to get a gift at Christmas. Holly, there you go, Holly. Something from Facebook. Way to go. Thanks for watching us on Facebook tonight. And Holly, you got that. So Holly, be sure and email us at the email address scrolling below. The email address is beaksquadwinner@gmail.com. That's great. We got another giveaway coming up. I'm going to be giving away one of my Winter Be Kind boards coming up in just a minute. So I got one sitting here. I'll show it in just a minute. But let me also remind you that, or tell you first time, is that next week for our giveaways, this will be next Thursday, will be the Thursday before Christmas. And so next week, I'll be giving away at least 1 or 2 of my Winter Be Kind. So you want to be sure and tune in next Thursday night as well. All right, let's get back to some questions tonight. What do you got on your mind? What kind of things are you dealing with? All right, getting some new packages in the spring. Is it okay to put one in a 5-frame nuke? Lost it. So is it coming back? He's going to put one in a 5-frame nuke to use for resources. Oh, yeah, that's not a bad idea, Anthony. I kind of like that idea. Keep in mind, that's a pretty big package, 10,000 bees, and you're going to put it in a 5-frame nuke, and it will fill that up really quickly. And so you might think about, making sure that it doesn't, unless you don't care, but it might swarm pretty quick after they draw out some comb. But that's the thing. Yeah, if it was me, if you're experienced, Anthony, I wouldn't pour the whole package in a 5-frame nuke. I would shake half of it in a 5-frame nuke and the other half in a hive. I know it's risky unless you're experienced, and then if you had a spare queen, you could have you could have your resource. A better idea now that I think about it, why don't you go ahead and make a hive out of it? Let them fill up for about a month and then make your resource hive from that hive by pulling over 2 frames out of the package and with eggs on it, let them raise your own queen. Isn't that funny how you just kind of think through something and all at once you think, oh, that's a better idea. I plan on getting a 3-pound package on April 24th and 28th. I think that's when we're shipping, people are picking up packages from us too. Am I too late? I live in Kentucky and weather should be 64, last frost April the 18th. Not really, no. We're in Central Illinois and our package bee pickup day is always either the 3rd or 4th week in April. You're probably a week warmer than us. So yeah, that's not going to make any difference. That'd be a good time. You'll be fine. If you see my video where I answered the question whether packages are better than nukes or vice versa, and I think I'll say for new beginners, I love to see a new beekeeper actually start with a package because you get to see everything start from nothing. A nucleus is already going, But a nucleus is good for if you're already a solid beekeeper and you want to just expand. You just want to expand in a hurry. All right. Thank you, David. Do I need to get a new apiary of local pest control? Got my colony. Oh, I see. Local pest control. What were they doing? Were they spraying a house or something? That doesn't sound like farm spray. It sounds like a local pest control company got your colony. So that's something to be concerned about, I guess. Yeah, I would talk to the pest control company and tell them what happened and see if something could be done not to let that happen again. I don't want to keep bees in a different place because of an error of somebody else. Oh, that's just me, though. We have a lot of stuff like that we have to deal with honeybees. First year beak, also a gardener. Good for you. Is it safe to use fertilizers? Don't want to harm bees. In the most part, yeah. Bees are going for plants. Most fertilizers are down below the soil. Bees aren't going to be down there doing stuff. I mean, it depends on how you apply it and things like that. But things like insecticides and pesticides being sprayed on gardens and flowers and trees, that's what concerns us most, not so much fertilizers. Yeah, good questions tonight. Got another giveaway coming up. Winter Be Kind I'm going to give away my Winter Be Kind in just a minute. Is it okay to use borescope for winter inspection? without opening the hive, meaning through the entrance instead of opening the top? I think it is. I think I have one, and I think they're fine. And I just never been able to see much. They haven't been impressive for me. But yeah, I think so. Yeah, you could try it and see. It's not. I don't think unless you just accidentally kill your queen, it's not going to be a problem. That would be a risk. It is better than opening up your hive, that's for sure. One more question, then let's do a Winter Be Kind giveaway. Hey, Shane, how are you doing? Good evening, David. I placed 14 out of my 16 on my first honey competition. Oh, I see. Okay. I'm still waiting for my result card, going for first place next year. Wow. 14 out of 16. That's really good. Yeah. So good for you for, I think a lot of us don't realize that there are a lot of clubs, a lot of states, a lot of organizations offer these honey contests. And so it's fun to win a blue ribbon sometimes, really is. All right. I'll do this one, then we'll do a giveaway. When bees are house cleaning dead bees, is it possible they might block a reduced entrance? What is the best way for helping to clear out the dead bees? It is possible, Rachel. I think we do need to be concerned about that. The best thing that I use is you can pull open your entrance reducer, and they make the little blue plastic hooks that you can scrape out dead bees, or you can make your own out of a coat hanger. A lot of people use coat hangers. Be aware that you need to be suited up. Bees will come out and sting you. Don't think just because winter, everything is asleep. All right, let's do another giveaway. This is going to be for a Winter Be Kind. And this Winter Be Kind, I've got it on the table. I'll show you in a minute. I invented these many years ago. Beekeepers love them. We're shipping them out. We have more online, actually. We've kind of gotten in a place where we were able to have more produced and more available, and we're putting them online kind of slowly. We're not going to put 1,000 on there, but we're trying to put them on there slowly. We can only ship them as the weather cools off. And so, but anyway, we're going to give a free one. It is a winter candy board that has our ingredients, our special stuff in it that helps bees. Beekeepers have used them for years and years and love them. I've used them for years. And let me show you one. This one's in the bag. I don't want to take it out of the bag, but they have insulation. They can go on top of your hive. And look at that. It's got the candy in there. And you can see there's moisture. You can kind of see a little bit. If you get them, there's a little bit of moisture on them, but don't worry about that. But they're designed so that the heat of the colony actually makes this very consumable, palatable for the bees to consume. So it's just not hard candy that the bees can't eat. But that's what they look like. And here's a little opening here that they were talking about helping the bees. So anyway, let's give away one of these. We'll get that shipped out to you if you live in the, what's it called, the continental 48 states or whatever here in the U.S. So, all right, we're going to be using hashtag WBK, Winter Be Kind, hashtag WBK. If you'd like to win a Winter Be Kind board to put on your hive in the wintertime to help your bees, your bees will consume this fast or not so fast. It's really hard to tell. Sometimes if the bees have a lot of honey on there, they may eat their own honey first. But if not, they may eat the Winter Be Kind board and then get to their honey. Sometimes I've seen them go right to the Winter Be Kind board, skip their honey, save it for later, and eat the Winter Be Kind first. So mine do everything across the board like that. But this is a great thing. If you've never bought one and tried one, you're going to be amazed. It really has changed my beekeeping operation, helping my bees stay strong. I do know that there are those who have, and that's the great thing about beekeeping, is that we all have different opinions. Some people have the opinion that we shouldn't feed bees in the wintertime. We shouldn't have any ventilation. We should just insulate the heck out of them. That reduces condensation. It makes the bees work less or, eat less and all that. There's that side of the equation. And I don't think that's wrong at all. I'm just saying, for me, what works best for me right now is putting that candy board on there, putting a lot of them and getting my hives really big for spring. But, I may change my mind later, but this really has transformed my operation. So anyway, there you go. Let's go ahead and draw. Winter Be Kind, WBK. Who's going to be the winner today of a Winter Be Kind board? Let's check it out. All right. So good to have you guys on board with us tonight. We're on live stream every Thursday night. 7 o'clock Central Time. Robbie, there you go, Robbie Bates. There you go. You're the winner, Robbie. So be sure and email us within 24 hours. Scrolling in the bottom banner is the email address, Robbie. So check it out. beaksquadwinner@gmail.com. Email us and we'll get that going your way as soon as possible. Good job. All right. You guys are great. All right, let's hit some more questions again. We got questions. Every question I answer today is less questions I answer tomorrow in the green chair. I love doing that too, though. So if winter bees haven't taken an orientation flight when they go to use the restroom, how do they know where home is? Yeah, when younger bees will go outside the hive to take a potty break, they don't have to really go far at all. And they will just fly close enough that an orientation flight isn't that critical to them. So yeah, that's amazing, isn't it? It's only when they fly really, really far away foraging that they really got to get a real good perspective of where on the planet their home is. Yeah, otherwise they can potty pretty close to home. I've seen viewers claim that their hives died of mites or some other calamity. How does one determine what killed the bees? Steve, that's an excellent question. I think we really jump to blame the mites. The mites spread viruses, so it's never really caused directly by the mites, but it's caused by the viruses that mites spread. But there are other viruses in the hive that mites aren't spreading, that bees contract. These viruses have been around before mites came in the US. So bees could be dying from viruses unrelated to mites. They could be dying from trachea mites. They could be dying. We don't talk about trachea mites much. They were really bad, especially 60s and 70s. We don't talk much about all the other things like nosema that bees can die of. That's not mite related. Low populations, poor quality queen in the fall, not enough food on board. Yeah, I think we just fall back and blame the mites because when we blame the mites, it makes us feel like I did everything right, so it must have been the mites. I don't know. Tom, getting 2 nukes in the spring. What is the best way to transport mesh nuke transport bag? I sell nukes in the spring, and I'm always humored when people come what they bring to put that nucleus in. Because, in bees, whether you're getting a package or a nucleus, there's no way to not have a stray bee somewhere. I'm serious. There are bees hanging out in the bee yard. And so even if the nuke box, if you're using a Jay's Bees or whatever kind of container you're transporting them in, even if it's tight as it can be, there still could be a bee land on it wanting in. And so people freak out if they're new to beekeeping because those bees on the outside makes them think there's a leak. And I've had nuke boxes leak. Don't get me wrong. I hate that when it happens. But the best way are those mesh bags. Those are pretty cool. Get one that's made for bees. That allows more ventilation. And you can save it and use it to catch a swarm. Have any of you ever done that? You take that mesh bag and a swarm hanging from a tree, you just kind of slip it over the swarm, tie it at the top, take the branch or whatever. You got a whole swarm. You didn't have to do anything. They're great. They're great for that. 2 of my hives swarmed. Should I take away their 2 deeps off each colony and harvest that honey? Is it more likely to get robbed if I leave them empty all winter? Yeah. They're not going to get robbed in the winter. I think it's a good idea to consolidate. I've taught about this before. You don't want to have too many boxes on a colony because they're not heating the house. They're heating each other, but it still makes it a much better way for the bees to go through winter if they don't have a ton of extra boxes above them, because that's where the heat goes. That's for sure. First year beekeeper, Holly, good for you. And congratulations on the winning there. If my colonies make it through winter, what should I be watching for to avoid swarming? How do you know when to split? Yeah, I answered the split question. Always split when your bees swarm. and I always jokingly say this, but I really do mean it sincerely. Split your hive a week before they swarm. I know it's hard to do, but you can do it. You can watch for development of queen cells or development of drones. How mature are your drones? And then you can start making splits before they do get into swarm season. Your other question, though, is what should you be watching for to avoid swarming? Yeah, you just got to go in there weekly. and start looking for swarm cells. It's very tedious. If you have a large colony that makes it through winter with a lot of bees, they will swarm. There's no way they're not going to swarm. A healthy colony will produce a reproductive swarm that's high in population and healthy. They're going to do it. If they didn't do it, we wouldn't have bees anymore on the planet. They have to reproduce. This is how they reproduce. So Holly, get ready. Just keep an eye on those swarm cells. That's about the only way to do it. I'll take one more question tonight. Teresa, how do you manage an infestation of wax moths? They tore up our colony and cleaned out their stores. Teresa, a little different thing happened there. The other bees cleaned out your stores, but wax moths are the cleanup crew. Always view them kind of like, have you ever seen roadkill on a highway and you see those big turkey vultures or buzzards or whatever they're called? They're on there eating the flesh of the animal that got ran over or something. They're cleaning up the road. That's what they eat. Wax moths are similar. They don't really bother bees. They come into very weak or dead colonies and they consume the wax. They lay eggs and they burrow through the wax and all. It's a mess. So a wax moth is sort of God's cleanup crew to beehives. They'll devour your wax. If you're using wired wax foundation, they'll devour it. Plastic foundation, you can pressure washer it and coat it again and be okay. So it means if you have a wax moth infestation, the colony got too weak. All bee colonies that are healthy will keep wax moths under control every time. I've made videos in the past of them taking a healthy colony, removing larvae where wax moths have snuck in. They won't let them take over. Yeah, but you just got to clean things up. Don't burn your hive. Don't burn the frames. Just clean it up, re-wax it. It's good to go. Guys, I want to thank you so much. I want to take a couple of minutes tonight and just say Merry Christmas. You guys are the best. I appreciate all of you so much. I love all of you so much. I wish we could spend face-to-face time together because you're just a hoot. And I'm happy that backyard beekeeping is becoming more successful. And I do hope I'm having a part in that. I work hard making videos, trying to educate beekeepers, new beekeepers. And I appreciate you guys being here so much. You always had so many great questions. I appreciate it. And anytime that I can help you, leave a comment on my YouTube channel. Watch my videos. I work hard making videos. And so those videos, I think, are very good for beekeepers to watch and learn more. So just a big shout out. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for all the donations tonight. If you didn't want to make a donation here on the live stream, you can always make a donation on our website at honeybeesonline.com for our live stream. Helps to pay the bills of the live stream. And a big shout out, of course, to Sherry and Robbie and Jessica. And I'm going to try to have them on just for a minute next week so we can all give them a big shout out. So you guys are great. Man, I tell you, it's been fun tonight. It was a very fast 59 minutes. So thank you guys for being here. I hope you'll watch the videos that I've made this week, and especially the recent one I made about that report that came out. I hope you'll watch that one. So good night. I'll see you guys in the next video. Appreciate you guys so much.